Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Passively Offside. My name is Taylor, and you are about to see our new setup. We've changed it up again. Hooray! Brandon's back, here. First off. Second off, we've changed up our setup again. I don't have my computer in front of me because it's our camera.
Ooh.
So there's that.
Camera.
Brandon, how are you?
I'm quite good.
How
doing quite well.
That's better. I like that.
Yeah,
it's been a little while. Yeah. Brandon's been gone for a little while. Had some personal stuff with your job. You know, you've been super busy.
Yes. 60 hours a week.
It got to the point where we weren't sure if you could come or not, and eventually we were just like, "Hey, man, you need to
take a break.
Just take a break because
because
it was getting stressful. Of you didn't even know if you could come until the night before.
Pretty much.
It was not worth the stress.
60-hour work week. Baby on the way.
Baby on the way, in case you forgot. It was not worth having you come being stressed out, and I'm glad that you took a little bit of time off. But I'm also very happy you're back, and you get to hang out.
I am back, and I should be back for the foreseeable future.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. We'll talk.
So
we'll talk about your role in the show.
That one's been a running joke for a while too, which you missed out. All right, bye everybody. Oh man, I accidentally showed off a little bit. Our first bit of news: we have our second step towards our treble.
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna try to hide all the logos real quick because we forgot to tape it up. But yes, it's our second step towards the treble, and we didn't tape it, so that's all I'm going to show of it, so that we don't get sued by a very, very powerful company. Just going to put that right there.
One that might buy Newcastle.
Yes, that. Which we talked about. We talked about when that was going to happen,
a company
and it's never going to happen.
That shan't be named, but might buy Newcastle.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
That's why I said might.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know.
But I would love it.
Dude has the money.
Vince McMahon as... I can say his name. We talked about it when it was going to happen. World Wrestling Entertainment was considering buying Newcastle, or Vince McMahon was.
Yes.
We talked about
but
that.
Vince McMahon is synonymous with WWE, so...
Who cares? We can say WWE, we can't show their logo. That's not their logo anymore anyway.
Fair enough.
That's a good point.
They changed their logo. No, we can't.
That's a non-trademark logo
anymore. They still own it. I guarantee you they still own it.
Why?
All right, let's get past this because now we're just
running.
Well, this is how it works.
It happens.
So yeah, we've got us set up a little bit differently now. I feel like it looks a lot cleaner, and with the 5 people, we were a little worried that we weren't going to fit it all, but look how awesome we look right now.
Look at all the extra
high
room
five,
I have.
Camera high five.
Look at how awesome we look. This looks fantastic. I feel like I'm surrounded by my best friends.
And next week I'll have my new scarves up.
Okay. Speaking of scarves, I'd like to point out that I'm not wearing an MLS scarf. I'm wearing a Sacramento Republic scarf that my good friend sent me from Sacramento before they came.
It's pretty.
It is very pretty. It's got
it's a summer scarf.
It's got their city on the back too. You won't be able to see it on camera at all.
Does it have cows?
No, it's got the skyline on there.
Look at that. Sacramento.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we heard you.
Talk to me.
We get it.
I don't know if you could see that, but yes, it does say Sacramento. It's a very dark summer scarf, but I really like it, and I'm wearing it just because,
because you can.
I can, and they were in Salt Lake the other night.
They were.
They were in Salt Lake.
They were in Salt Lake getting beat.
They did get beat, but that's to be expected from MLS versus USL. At least we hope. So
it should be.
Well, that's what I mean. All right. Let's get into this. Boris, take it away with our of the weeks and our scores.
All right. I'm going to go with scores first. Okay. We're out of 248. Nephi sitting at 97. Splenda at 89. Taylor's holding strong at 93. And as always, I'm still in the lead at 102. They're trying to pick away. It's 5 now. Now, our of the weeks, goal of the week, Michael Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a question or a statement?
No, it's
I'm confused about that.
We decided on it. All right, it's Michael Bradley. It's one of those things. It wasn't up for that voting on MLS.com. It was the one goal from the week that should have been up there that wasn't up there.
We don't have to go by what they said.
Exactly. Save of the week, Steve Clark, Columbus Crew. He's doing amazing. If any of you are playing FIFA 15, he's actually number 3 in the rosters for USMNT now.
Wow,
interesting. He's actually on the reserves whenever you pull up that roster. Player of the week going to Landon Donovan. Goal and 3 assists.
Yep.
tying
Something
the
like
assist record with Steve Ralston.
Don't do that. Don't do that over there. I saw that.
And
Don't do that.
it's just a tying of the record, but it is a solid performance.
Boris
3
fought
assists-
for that one because we weren't going to let him do it.
3 assists and a goal. That's a solid
Yeah.
week performance.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It's all
I've
right.
seen better.
Yeah. Bradley Wright Phillips has done that how many times this
Yeah.
year?
And I really don't care about the shame of the week, so we're gonna leave it at that.
No, who's the shame of the week?
I'm not announcing.
Shame of
it.
the
Who's
week.
Shame of the week.
I am the shame of the week.
Why
Yes,
are you the
he
shame of the
is.
week, Boris?
What did you do?
I rang the goal gong. Rio Tinto Stadium.
He got in trouble too. He
You got
was
yelled at.
he was a little intoxicated.
I didn't
Yep.
get yelled at.
Well, they got mad.
I thought
So you
corrected
calmed
it.
the
I
situation
corrected
down.
it.
Yeah.
You handled the situation very well, but don't do that anymore.
No.
Don't ring the goal gong for it.
All right, let's get into this. We got just a couple bits of news here, which some of these were going to be discussions, and now they're not because we're not talking about that stuff, like New York. But before we talk about New York a little bit, we're not going to go into that right now. Before we talk about New York a little bit, let's talk about Ka. Ka wins the Nice Guy of the Season award with what he his act of kindness, I will say, to 5-year-old Ava Bowl after their 3-0 win over Vancouver. Do you guys know what happened?
No.
No?
Didn't he pick her up and bring her onto the field?
Yeah, so
Pretty
Ava is a 5-year-old
Cancer survivor.
cancer survivor, or going through
Oh,
treatment still.
okay.
And after their win, when they were going to do the whole ceremony thing that Portland always does, Ka's running around the field. You know, they do their lap of victory or whatever. Win, lose, or draw, they're always having a party in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Sees Ava, and at least in what he said in an interview was like, something just told me to go over there, and I knew she was a cancer fighter, and picked her up, brought her on the field. Her older brother came, who's a huge Timbers fan, came on the field. Parents came on the field, and then the kids got to go into the locker room for the post-game talk.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Collins Nice Guy of the Season award. That's all I really have to say about that one.
I can't say no to that.
Yeah. Also, speaking about Portland a little bit, Will Johnson.
Yeah.
Our hearts go out to you, man, because we like you here in Salt Lake, and I think you're well liked around MLS. I would say, you know, he's a good player and he's a good guy. Maybe Seattle doesn't like him all that much.
That was Brad Evans who tweeted out. Now, I don't know if I can fully tweet out what he said what he tweeted, but some of the effects of Will Johnson is a word to play against, but you never wish that even against your worst opponents.
Yeah, I was gonna
Very
say.
good.
I think everyone's opinion, if they're
Oh, yeah.
not a Will Johnson fan, is you hate to play against him, but you want him on your team.
Oh yeah.
And it's
And
nice.
he's a great guy.
It's
though.
good to see him play too. I really enjoy
And
seeing
what's
him
bad
play.
is it's 6 seconds in, he gets tib fibbed, and tib fib is
It wasn't like it was a malicious.
He broke his
tackle.
leg, by the way,
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
very non-malicious tackle that
It was
just
a 50-50 ball they both slid into and
Went the wrong
snapped his tib fib.
yeah, that was against Toronto, by the way.
Mhm.
So best of luck to you in your recovery.
crazy game, that one.
Yeah, it was a good
Mhm.
one. In other news, Red Bulls. We're getting to the Red Bulls now.
Energy drink FC.
Energy Drink FC. It was rumored that they were going to entertain offers to sell their club.
It said they've put out they've tried to sell a club twice.
Yep. There was a quote, "We'd rather work with our European ventures. If 300 mil would be offered, a deal would be cut in less than 48 hours." Those were a couple quotes from the article that came out. But Don Garber has said that's not happening. I can absolutely assure you that New York Red Bulls are not for sale. And there was a quote from the Red Bulls in that article that said, no, we're not.
The only thing I kind of want to add to this is I believe Grant Wall, who reported this story, was also the one that reported that Chivas was going to be for sale. And about 2 days later, Don Garber comes out, Chivas are not for sale. And then 2 weeks later, MLS buys Chivas.
Don Garber said that they're not for sale because Don Garber bought them. No,
You
they're
can't
not
have
for
them.
sale. They're mine.
He was liquidating his assets to buy Chivas.
Well,
Okay, no, that's a valid point, but I still, I'm here to report the news as of right now. The news as of right now is that they're not for sale. Is
Yeah. I mean,
that okay with you, Boris?
yeah.
Just saying.
I posted that article in chat earlier, and
I know.
Boris said that makes me just believe they're for sale even more.
Does it not?
Same here.
Two of three.
Two of three.
Does it
Check.
not?
I am just gonna go with what comes out.
The biggest thing
Fool
that
me
makes you
once,
think
Don
that they're
Garber,
gonna
shame
sell
on
is the
me.
way New York handles themselves right now. That's really what it comes down to. They haven't filled out their third DP. They're not bolstering their roster.
They're not filling the stands.
They're not filling the stands.
No, they're not.
And that is
A team of
beautiful.
that quality
Oh yeah.
should be
Very good team.
Should be
very
full.
beautiful stadium. Very quality players.
Very beautiful.
In champions.
Now they're out.
Well,
Well, they
were in champions.
Montreal is in champions.
which is maybe the reason to sell them. Oh,
What
Boris.
I do?
Trophy.
Get knocked over the trophy.
Boris knocked over the trophy.
Is that just
Right there.
heaped onto his shame of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boris,
Wow,
you
that
can
works.
leave.
Let's talk
We need to
about
talk
it.
about
I think we need to see if you want to take a break, Boris.
I did take a break.
He went all over the world.
As always, remember to join us on Facebook at facebook.com/passively_offside and on Twitter at passively_off. Email us at passively_offside@gmail.com or text me or whatever you want to do. We may read your comments on air, and it's always nice to hear from you. I wasn't as quick as last week.
No.
Last week was
You
fast.
sped through it like an auctioneer.
We're
Yeah.
going
You know,
to start posting Taylor's phone number after the show.
Mm-hmm. Creepers hit at me.
Please don't. That's mostly just to Robert, who I know is going to text me at some point.
Yep.
Oh, well.
I bet you he'd swipe right.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our discussion. Let's talk about JJ. Jermaine Jones got his first MLS goal.
Beauty.
And
And it was pretty.
Brandon, who was that against?
It's against Sporting.
Ooh.
It was a good goal, and the defense gave him far too much space to work with.
Oh, yeah.
35 yards out.
Two of their goals they did.
Well, yeah, and I think this comes down to his goal. I think is a big product of not having Matt Beasler and Aurelian Collin on the field at the same time, because those two together, there's a special chemistry there. There's a special level of communication. When Kevin Ellis, albeit, I mean, he's an okay center back, even though he's really an outside wing back, he still does an okay job at it. But that level of chemistry and that communication isn't there at all compared to when you have Beasler and Collin.
Well, you bring up something good there, and we can kind of lump our next topic into this. Kansas City currently sits at 1 win in their last 6 games. So, I mean, what's going on? And is it
They
really
lost too many players.
Well, we've talked about this. I mean, when their defense gets weak, when their defense gets hit hard through injuries or whatever. I mean, look at Matt Beasler right now. He's playing with a cast. You got Aurelian Collin, who's in and out of the lineup because of injury.
You can't make that as an excuse because
No, it's not an excuse. I'm just giving.
He's normally in and out of the lineup anyway. Hey, yo.
But
Get out.
They've sold 3 players already. That they
Yeah,
haven't,
no Oriole Russell anymore.
Yep.
That was a very early sale this year.
but they
and
didn't
I think-
replace them.
No, they did not. That's the big problem. I mean, you right now, who are our center defensive mids? Well, we have a Lawrence Alum, who's
who's
honestly
defensive mids? Who's our?
Sporting's. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hashtag homer status.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't,
I'm sorry.
Don't
You-
you start.
Don't worry,
But
they'll
who is-
slip up.
But who is Sporting?
No, I haven't been doing it.
Who is Sporting center defensive mid now? You have Mikey Lopez, who he's got a great level of potential, but he's not where he needs to be right now. And then you've got Lawrence Alum, and that's it. And he's really just a converted center back.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really. I mean,
Our defense isn't.
There you
Sporting's defense isn't shambles. You just stop it right now.
You're not going to
You know
stop
what? I will say I knew you were going to do that. I just,
You were waiting for it.
I was.
That is
Yep.
evil.
We're
I'm
setting you up for it. We're jerks.
It's a running joke.
Yeah.
You look
We
at their
have fun
attack,
here.
and they're still deadly. You still see Dom Dwyer getting goals. If you've been watching Champions League, you've been seeing Claudio Bieler just wreck people. And you still see a lot of danger on the wings.
Okay.
Especially with Tony Davalle, that his improvement through the year has been fantastic. But you look at their defense, and it's a joke right now. Without their normal lineup, it's like there's a massive drop off in their depth at defense. I mean, and Eric Palmer Brown got what, a game this year,
and now he's
and
injured.
he got a red card in said game.
and he's injured now.
Oh, and he's injured.
Well, so let's
So
look
we
at
have no true center backs,
and you don't
other than
have
Matt
any
Beasley.
sort of rotation.
You know what it reminds me of? And sadly, I don't want to throw you under the bus, but this reminds me a lot of Dortmund.
Oh God, yeah.
So much potential, 90% of the time, everyone's injured.
Oh yeah, we already have just
You
as
said
many.
it. You said we.
See?
Oh, no,
That's
I-
okay with Dortmund. That's okay. It's not an MLS
No.
team, and we're not talking about it.
Hypocrisy.
Ah.
I will say we on
That's
that
good,
all the
guys.
time.
Thanks.
But yeah, no.
Dortmund's his number one team.
Yeah.
I give him we for Dortmund no matter what.
You'd give me we for Swansea?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely,
well, then fine.
absolutely. And
Then
you
we're
guys would give me we for Arsenal.
Yeah.
They won't give me we for LA though.
No,
No.
No.
That's
no,
an
because that's an
MLS
MLS team.
But it's my number one team.
It
I don't
doesn't
care.
Real
Not a fan.
Salt- Real
Say,
Salt
who
Lake.
care?
I said not that I care.
All right. Let's get back on
Anyways.
track. Let's talk about the rest of the season for Sporting. They've got DC tomorrow. They've got Chicago on the 10th.
Right.
They've got
Guaranteed at least 1 point.
they've got Philly. They've got
Trying to
Philly
laugh.
on the 18th, and they've got New York. I'm sorry, Energy Drink FC on the 26th.
That's a great
That's
last
a
game of
tough
the
line.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's going to be an interesting run for them.
I was gonna say
I don't see them falling out of the playoffs.
we don't see them
No,
falling
they won't.
out, but when you look at the East playoff race between honestly 4th and
they'll beat Philly. and
all the way to
Chicago.
6 is like what, a 6 point shift?
It's a 10-point shift from 6th to 1st.
That's it.
With 12 points
11.
11 with
that
with,
is
a
with
good
12
table.
points.
But we're
remaining.
pretty much guaranteeing right now that DC, New England. Why I mean, you would have said half the season New England was going to be a guarantee.
Mhm.
No one would have thought that.
No one's guaranteed yet. Not a single
I know,
team.
but we're
DC
just saying-
gets a draw.
I get what you're saying. I
in
get what you're
certain
saying.
form, and then also Casey, we're saying isn't going to miss the playoffs.
Most likely not.
So you got 2 last spots, but so from 4th to 6th, what's the point? There?
5.
5.
Or 4th to 6th, it's 3.
That's a game.
That is one game.
Toronto could easily take the 4th place spot. Yes, easily take the 4th place spot with a win if Columbus does not, because both Columbus and Toronto sit at 11 wins. And Columbus is at 43, Toronto's at 40. So, I mean, what are you laughing at over there?
Columbus.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere, dude.
No,
Just-
they don't.
A
Columbus is
team
always there.
like Columbus with a midfield as strong as theirs, the thought of a team that powerful with Higuain in the lineup missing the playoffs,
I find
I find it
Toronto
to
even
be-
funnier.
tragically
I do
funny.
too.
The H is silent, by the way.
Higuain.
Higuain.
I am not Hispanic. I will speak it like an American.
Wow. And before this gets racist, Sporting
Hashtag racist.
Look,
Sporting
at how
Kansas
Where's your
City.
red
I
card?
am.
Give racism the red card.
Sporting Kansas City currently
The
sits
palest
3rd
monkey,
in
you
the
know.
East at 45 points. I'm sorry, which puts them at 7 in the MLS.
Caution.
Nope.
No,
The racism
the H
the red
word
card.
came out.
You give racism the
racism.
red card.
That is pretty racist.
What was racist? Me saying I'm not Hispanic?
No,
Oh, that
the
was-
other H word. Don't worry about it.
Let's just stop.
We'll talk about it off air.
Let's talk about this off air. Anyway, looking at Supporter Shield standings, because we brought it up, of course, Seattle sitting number 1 with 57, tied with LA sitting at number 2 with 57 points. Again, the only reason Seattle is above is because they've won 2 extra games. DC coming up behind them at 51 points, Real Salt Lake at 49, and FC Dallas taking 5th at 48 points. Very tight race for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but 1 and 2 are they're getting almost locked in.
Can I just say that any other league, this wouldn't be a race. LA would be winning because there's no such thing as on wins. It's always off the point differential, not the wins.
Okay. All right.
Good for you, pal.
You say that to yourself while you go to sleep.
Yeah,
tonight.
you just keep telling yourself that every night.
Don't feel bad.
pillow.
As a-
If
as
it
a-
was any other
As a
league.
Packer
Bruce
fan,
Arena.
the year we had the
Are you
best-
bringing hand egg into this
I am
podcast?
just
Oh my God.
hear it out. Hear it out.
I
As a
brought it
Packer
up
fan,
once at least.
when we lost in the wild card, but
See, I'll
had
give
the
you a wee
best
for that.
record,
I'll give you a wee for that.
when we lost in the wild card in the playoffs, but had the best record overall, every Packer fan who's also a real football fan was saying, well, you know, if this was the Premier League, we would have won. Just saying. Just saying, we're the best overall team. You guys just won when it mattered.
Again, Sporting takes on DC tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And I think we forgot to mention Chicago and Philly are currently playing to a 0-0 draw right now.
Tying the record
At the
Right.
56th minute,
Right.
if Chicago and Philly tie, what are they at, Loris?
17 draws, which is a draw on their record of drawings. They're drawing.
Chicago, that is, by the way.
Chicago is drawing their
own
own record
I
of drawing.
kind of want them just to draw.
Exactly, and they're
their
not
own
saying
record.
No,
That's it.
no,
New
I
Year's,
want them to
yes.
beat their record so they can say they beat something. Is
I-
that wrong?
They
Well, that way
outdrew
they can
their
say they made
drawing
history.
record.
They outdrew their drawing record. Because to beat their record, they just have to draw more.
So
Come on, that's perfect.
it's
That's
slightly off topic, but it does have to do with the Chicago Fire. Do they get rid of their coach? And I'm sorry I hijacked that, but it's a question I feel is important and needs to be asked.
I think that is going to be a topic that's going to come up at the end of the season.
Is it Frank Yallop that's over there?
Yes.
Yep.
That's hard.
Does he get fired? If it's you, if it's your team that you own, are you firing him?
Depends on what our thoughts were going into the season, what our goal was at mid-season, and where I see my team for next season, and how well he's still bringing that about.
Okay.
Let's talk about another draw.
Mm-hmm.
Landon Donovan has tied the all-time assist record over the weekend. He is one away from beating that record, and if he did, he would be holding both the all-time goal score and assist record, which kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Kind of.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit, you know.
I mean, if he also had like those shutout games because he was a keeper as well, that would be like an amazing. record.
That
the best
Wins a
treble
coach,
ever.
too.
that would be
That'd be the
best
Landon
treble.
Donovan. Landon
man.
Donovan treble. And let's not give him ideas.
Right, he's gonna stick around for a couple more years as he's gonna kick Pinedo out and just say, "No, I got this,"
I got this.
and then he's gonna stick around for 10 more years to beat Nick Romando.
Like
not
85.
To be fair, as a
Die
goalkeeper,
under
he
his
could
hands.
stand until he's like 45.
Not after all the striking in midfield he's done. Anyway, how do we feel about Landy right now?
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Congrats.
stoked on it.
I am.
I like that these records are being broken.
I like that I'm around to see them.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the league till now, like we've been here the whole time the league's been around. We've seen these records be set, and now we're seeing the records be broken.
You bring up a great point that really shows the evolution of not only the MLS, but soccer in the United States in general. Again, very young league, extraordinarily young league. But we're seeing these, Nick Romando breaking the shutout record. That was a big deal because that record had been established for, when did he retire?
Gato retired. Hartman retired about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
No, he played in 2011, so it was less
3
than
years
3
ago.
But 3 years to hold a record is a fairly long time. Again, short span of time from beginning of the league till now. But my point is, it's kind of, we're growing with this league. We're growing up with this league. I was very, very young when this league was established. So
We're teenagers.
No.
No, dude,
10 years? Oh,
96, man.
shoot. Yeah, I was.
you're talking about Real Salt Lake.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was a
sorry.
teenager.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
Yeah, you're old.
I was close to.
Do you feel bad now?
I being 23 was very young. Splenda being 24 was also very young.
I
So
don't feel bad about myself anymore.
You're older than the league,
I
Splenda,
know.
but the league can grow a beard and you can't.
I wasn't going to bring up Splendid Beard Watch 2014, but thank you, Boris.
and let's go back to the news segment for a second and talk about Beard Watch 2014. How you doing there, pal?
It's a little scruffy today.
Can we pull up the picture for Beard Watch? The Beard Watch picture.
Oh,
Why don't we zoom in
man.
on him?
Have you seen the Beard Watch picture?
No.
Pretty sure he has a.
Beard Watch 2014.
There's even a hashtag on there.
Oh, God.
That's
Why?
Man.
It was a
Are
joke.
they seeing this right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can see the Beard Watch.
It was a joke I wanted to make last week, and I wasn't gonna bring it up again. But
I think this could be a real
It
segment,
came up
a true
naturally.
segment from now on.
It is a very natural segment.
It came up organically. I can't explain.
Unlike your beard, who doesn't come up organically.
I'll see you guys later. I'm out of here.
leave your phone. I need it for music.
No. My phone's going away.
I don't actually. I've got it too. Anyway,
Don't need your pity.
moving on because we're just getting way off topic, which is awesome. But
That's what makes a show great.
nope. But okay. I like your show. Let's talk about Chivas, who is a team who actually has been sold to an investment group, by the way. They will go on hiatus for 2 years and return as an expansion team. 2 years.
It's good.
You laugh, but I mean, look at how big of a deal that is. It
It's
is.
sad, but it's a good thing because from what it sounds like is they are completely breaking off. They'll have a new stadium north of LA. Well, not north of LA, but
They're trying to
north-
get it into downtown.
in downtown,
Okay.
which is north of where
Should go to
South
Vegas.
They're not
No.
moving it.
Should go to
Absolutely
Vegas.
It's not being
Should
moved.
go to Vegas.
No.
Absolutely not.
the
Vegas should
rivalry
not have
in
an MLS
California
Vegas should have an
needs that second
Vegas
element.
should not have an MLS team.
They got the Clippers and the Lakers. They can deal with 2 soccer teams.
The biggest thing I want to bring up here is they have a couple players that we want to keep an eye out for. So who's going where?
Oh, Dan Kennedy. Yay. He gets out of the
I will
gets
agree
out
with
of the
that.
Chivas.
Yeah, Dan Kennedy needs to have a defense in front of him for once.
Dan Kennedy
That
is
man.
probably going to have a better life in a little bit here. But who's going to pick
I
him
want to
up?
make a prediction right now.
Okay.
Dan Kennedy gets Keeper of the Year next year,
With who?
which it doesn't matter.
No, the question
He'll go-
I am posing is who's
I
picking
know.
up
He'll
Dan
go to
Kennedy?
Orlando
That's-
City.
That's
Okay.
way too hard. 'Cause we've
Orlando.
got a lot of movement
Oh,
coming at the
okay.
end
Yeah,
of this
you're
year.
right.
I can see Orlando picking up Dan Kennedy with their number 1 pick in the
Our New
expansion
York
draft.
FC.
Number
New
1
York
pick
City
in
already
the
has
expansion
Saunders.
draft.
That's a great thought to bring up.
Oh, no, I'm
Orlando?
not disagreeing, but Saunders has 2.
Josh Saunders has 2 cups.
They're not going to.
Now he has a little bit of a problem, but we're not getting to that here or there.
Hey,
Let's
hey,
really
He
not bring
has
that up.
resolved that
We
problem.
are not talking about that on the show. That is not something we're bringing up.
Oh, he
That's
likes-
getting
It shows
He
what
likes to-
tolerance
he
and
likes to
forgiveness.
party, huh?
that's getting into slander. Stop it. That is enough.
My nose
That's
itched.
enough. That is enough of that. Jesus, you guys.
He's like,
Say something to say something for right now.
I got nothing.
They need
man.
Knock that off. No,
Okay,
we're done.
okay, but
I will
what-
end this
hey,
show.
what?
I have
Okay.
allergies.
I will end this show.
Who's okay? So we got Dan Kennedy. We want
Yep.
to see.
Kubo Torres'
Kubo
contract
I bet
is
he doesn't
owned by
stay
the
in
MLS.
MLS.
Kubo Torres
Wait.
is his contract is actually owned by Chivas Guadalajara.
Still? I thought they had
He's
the
on
option to
loan.
buy out.
Okay.
I'm like,
Well, so is he going to go back to
I
Guadalajara?
think he goes back.
Okay.
With the season he's had, they're going to take him back. He'll get
yeah.
some sub time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Absolutely. Who else? Anyone? Do they have anyone
Hurtado.
else?
Did
probably
Bocanegra
do.
retire?
Yeah,
He's
he's
Oh,
retiring.
I forgot about
Yeah,
Hurtado.
Hurtado's probably going to go somewhere.
Gross.
What happens to a lot of their players? I mean, are we seeing some of them just go away?
USL Pro. There's always USL Pro. And there's always League 2 in England.
Well,
Well, they're not going to go to League Two.
The joke is that Chivas is bad.
Oh, good one.
Their players
Well,
are
Marvin Chavez will go somewhere for sure.
there's a couple
Yeah, there
people.
is him.
The sad thing though is what's going to happen to that academy, because
It's going
that
to be disbanded.
which is sad because that's
Which
their
is
That-
sad.
that is
That's
Well,
their
you know what?
best
It's
kid
just
stuff
going
there.
to what's going to happen is the same thing
They'll
that
just
happened
go
with the
over.
LA
They'll just
Galaxy.
go over to the Galaxy's academy.
All the players that got
What about the
removed.
coaches? Those coaches are what made it.
They'll be absorbed.
Keep in mind that Nephi is on a youth academy kick
Yes.
right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah, well,
academy disbanding, I can completely agree.
No.
It's not a
They'll
good thing.
probably do what most other coaches
really
that lose their
pumpkin
jobs
spice?
do: start their own new academy,
I would hope so.
and that's what I expect them to do. Any self-respecting coach that loves his job as a coach will do that.
You have another team that might come in and swoop up and say,
There's-
"Hey, there's a good foundation
It'd be
here."
really nice to
And
see
they'll
that
pay for
team
that.
just the
And there's still
Ownerships
Sacramento Republic. They
pull 'em
could
over.
pull in new people for an academy.
Yep.
There's
there you go.
the
I like that idea.
there's the OC Blues if they don't go defunct this year.
They won't. Hopefully.
There are a lot of options, obviously. I think
Yeah.
that's what we're getting at.
Mhm.
Cool.
Heck, even the New Orleans Jesters have a youth academy. I'm
Let-
sure
Let's just say
there's
that
plenty of places for those coaches to go.
Vincent Tan is part of the group that's buying Chivas.
I really hope no one was going to
Oh,
mention
that's-
that.
The Los Angeles Dragons. Is that what we're gonna have?
That's
Or
so good.
Cardiff City, USA? Is that going to be the name of the new expansion?
From reports,
I will go out of my way to love hating that team.
from I think a trusted source has said already that he will only have a small role
Okay.
in that.
It doesn't matter if
It's still-
if his name
it's
is
still-
somewhat attached to
I
it.
know, I agree.
That team is just ruined.
I want to touch on something you just said there. I will go out of my way to hate this team. And I'm glad you said that because
The Black Army.
the Black
Yes.
Army tweeted out
Yes,
that
I'm
they
so proud of them.
regardless of having their own team, Black Army are Chivas USA supporters group, by the way.
The 11 people that
The 11 people they have.
They have 25.
Are going
Thank you.
to go to LA games as away fans and cheer with any away supporter that comes to chant against LA.
All I say is that can get expensive.
I am proud of that rivalry. For the first time ever, I tip my drink to you, Chivas supporters. You have made me proud of you.
Wow.
I wanted to end on that. That's all we're talking about
that's
Chivas.
fine.
We're done with
Okay.
Chivas. Let's talk about Houston a little bit. Houston, unbeaten in their last 5.
4 wins, 1 draw.
4 wins, 1 draw.
Mm-hmm.
They are 5 points away from the line. I'm going to double check that, but I'm trusting Boris on this one. Can they make a run?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So right now, just to kind of again give
Their schedule's a little strong though.
It doesn't matter.
to paint the picture again, they are in 8th place in the East, behind Philly. They are 3 points behind Philly, 4 points behind Toronto, and they are 5 points behind New York. So with a couple games, they could definitely do it. They do have a game in hand, as does Toronto.
Can I pose
And
a question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask each one of you to want an answer. So we've already guaranteed DC, New England, and KC. Who are your next 2 teams? Splenda? Read off the teams that are still
Say that one more.
available.
So top 3 are confirmed. So
You get
we
two.
are
Hypothetically,
confirming
we have 2
DC, New England, and Sporting. We are confirming DC, New England, and Sporting.
okay.
Columbus sits 4th. Red Bulls sit 5th. Toronto, Philly, Houston, Chicago, Montreal.
I'll say Columbus. Oh, wait, if you're going.
We're going around in circle.
Sorry.
This is circle time with
Do you-
Nephi,
do
who
you
has
wanna talk?
hijacked
You-
the
you-
podcast
No,
to ask
Boris
this
can talk. It's
question.
cool.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay. I would love to see Bradley Wright Phillips tear it up in the playoffs. I would
Okay.
like to see New York in the playoffs. The other team, that one's a toss-up between Michael Bradley and Jermaine Defoe. I would like to see Toronto make the playoffs.
So New York and Toronto?
Yes.
Okay.
New York and either Toronto or Houston.
I was thinking the Fire, but there's not enough games left enough for them to draw all the way up. So
Montreal Dark Horse. Montreal Dark Horse, bro.
they're not eliminated from contention yet.
They're not. They are not mathematically eliminated yet.
That's
Which
how
is
it's that
ridiculous.
Eastern
No,
Conference.
I'll go Columbus and Houston. I'd like to see New York out.
Okay.
Now, is this who I want to see or who I
Who do you
think will be
think?
there?
Who do you think?
Okay, because it's 2 different answers.
Yeah.
Who I think will be there is Houston, Toronto.
Okay.
There's too much money in Toronto right now, and Houston has done this time and time again every single year at the end of the season.
Take a deep breath over there, pal.
They break out
Let that
and they
blood come
have
down.
a ridiculous run at the end of the season. They've been doing it for the past 3 or 4 years. It's why LA had to meet them in the MLS Cup twice. It's because they just have ridiculous runs towards the end of the season.
So
Yeah.
Houston's last 5 games, getting back on topic a little bit here, they have New York on the 4th, Toronto on the 8th, DC on the 12th.
Oh, that'll be an important game.
Jesus. New England on the 16th and Chicago on the 24th.
So they have the
Holy
hardest
They have the
crap.
hardest
Well,
finishing
think about it.
They've got a fight on their hands.
Anyone for the East is going to be a hard schedule, except if you play Montreal.
You have a point.
And Chicago.
Let's look at Montreal's end of the season, by the way. I am curious that you brought that up.
Chicago is
Gotta
the
on the
East
5th.
They got to win there.
Montreal and Chivas.
Chicago on the 5th, New England on the 11th, Toronto on the 18th, and DC on the 25th, their last game
Really
of the
quick,
season.
what's Phillies?
Phillies
And
and
no one said Philly.
No, Philly won't make it.
well,
Do what they always do.
Philly's
They'll
most
show
recent result is a loss to DC United, a draw against Houston, and a draw against New York. They have Chicago tonight,
Still a draw.
still a draw right now. Columbus on the 11th, Sporting on the 18th,
it. Ooh.
and Columbus on the 26th. So double Columbus there. And seeing as we brought up that game, just a quick update is the 70th minute, 0-0.
Yeah. Get
Boris
it,
is going to get
Chicago.
that one, and you know
Get
what?
it, Chicago.
If you guys remember, I just want to get off
Really?
topic for half a second. If you guys remember, my new strategy for finishing out predictions for this year is just to do whatever Splenda does so that I don't lose. Because I'm fine being in 3rd place. I just don't want to lose. So I'm
Solid
just copying
strategy.
everything. Right? Thank you.
I even said it's a solid strategy.
It's a solid
You're
strategy.
You're making the system work for you.
I'm making the system work for me, and
That's
the
it.
system is Splenda.
Yep.
His predictions aren't always great, but at least I'm not going to lose.
Just a
And I'm mad at you for not doing a draw.
I don't care.
little strategy for a Splendid
Yeah,
to combat
Bud.
that.
What's-
Don't tell him what you're gonna do.
I don't.
No, I don't make my own picks. I just tell him whatever you picked is mine.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah, I told you he's making the system work for him.
We're gonna start
Oh.
conference calling on Monday.
That's like-
We're gonna
pick
go
our-
through the schedule.
That's
Nick.
like dirty politician cheap.
Well, put it this way: if it gets that way, when
Whatever you
when
think.
Nephi's predictions came out at the beginning of the week, all I did was copy paste them in there, and then I went just kidding because
I
I'm better
wish
at
you
Nephi
hadn't.
picking.
I wish you hadn't done just kidding there. It would have been funny.
It would
I
have
am
been
glad
funny.
that you two are still fighting for
Yeah,
1 and 2.
I-
You have it,
And we still have
like
we still do have games that are different here and
Yeah,
there.
we get about 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah. Last week was 6 different ones, and for some reason I still won last week.
at this point. I'm just having fun with it, and
Yeah.
no one's winning anything this year. We never decided a prize. So
Not
next
gonna be
year
a-
we'll have a prize.
It's not gonna be a Sacco.
We will have a
Sacco.
Sacco
Oh,
next
man.
year.
There will be a
We're gonna have to
Sacco.
name it something else because I bet FX has that locked down.
Probably not.
I bet they do.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get back on topic once again for the 100th time in this
Finally.
show. We've got a couple more things to talk about here.
Show's going great.
Actually, we've got one last topic before
Yeah,
we
we're
get to
doing really
everyone's
good.
favorite part of the show. I want to start off with this. I like what you did earlier, and I thought about this earlier today. I want a one-word answer. I don't want an explanation. Not yet. I want a one-word answer from everyone. Who's your MVP?
May I go?
Yeah, let's start down there and we'll work over
Every-
here.
Right, Phillips.
BWP.
Robbie Keane.
Called it.
Lee win.
Can I clarify real quick?
No.
No.
One word.
It's one word. It's one
Then-
word.
Is this who I think will win it or
No.
who I
Who
want to
you
win
think
it?
will win it?
Oh, Keen.
Who do you want to win it?
Oh, Lee win.
Who I want to win it? Lee win. Honestly, Lee win is who I wanted to win it.
Is
Yeah.
BWP your both?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
17
deserves
goals,
it.
17 assists.
Well, and we talked about
Robbie
this earlier.
Robbie Keane's on track to win it. Now,
Yeah.
Lee Win has been a revelation this year.
Yes.
He's been amazing, but he's always had this talent when he was playing out in Vietnam as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's great and he's matured a lot in New England, and he now has a supporting crew around him where it actually is making him look really good.
What about BWP?
The man's a monster. Until someone can stop him from scoring, he deserves it.
LA stopped him.
Who's the monster? Is it him or is it Henri feeding him?
Well,
Doesn't matter.
that was what I was going to ask. Does it really matter in the end?
Yes.
Who's finishing? It matters who's finishing.
Well, okay,
It does.
but
Because if he's not a good player and Thierry Henry feeds him the ball and he doesn't finish,
I
we're having a
agree.
discussion about how bad he is.
I agree.
So he's just doing his job. And
Well,
he's doing it exceptionally
If
well.
I'm coming down to 2 players, let's say Riley Wright Phillips or Keane, I'd give it to Keane because he does more by himself or produces more than Riley Wright Phillips does by himself.
Now, here's the thing: you get into that conversation, though, kind of like how he was saying and what you're both saying last year. Jassy Zardes, he only scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
This year, he's 16 goals,
Yep.
and it all comes down to finishing. But at the same time, you have to have whoever's putting you in front of the net to do it. So it's a toss-up. And the kid's 26 goals now,
A lot.
25 goals.
I don't have an exact
He's at
number.
25 goals.
It's
27 is the
ridiculous.
record. He's got 4 more games.
To score 2 goals.
If he gets the record, which he should, I think he'll get it though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tell me a little about Lee Win, phone boy. I
Let's
know
get
what
my
you're
predictions
you're
up.
just pulling up the predictions,
I was getting my predictions.
but
We
Not
talked
the
about it
time.
earlier in the season that he was controlling the midfield by himself. I think most valuable player doesn't mean who puts the most stats on the score sheet. It's who has the biggest impact on the field in the intangibles, the things that you can't measure. Somebody who's always in position, who makes the biggest impact on the team when they are there, and the team the guy that the team misses the most when he is not there. That's the most valuable player, not the, oh yeah, he can finish because Thierry Henry keeps sending the ball.
Okay.
It's going to be the person that is the most valuable to his team. I know it's a little bit of tautology there, but
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh, if
absolutely.
you're really going by the term MVP, yeah, of course, but it never goes that way.
Can I just say that these past 25 weeks and seeing Splenda grow into the
Right?
analyst that he is now,
Right?
I've got a little
I'm
bit
so
of a
proud of
tear
you.
in my eye.
Splenda, I'm so proud.
From our first,
I'm a
No, do it.
professional. I put on my boots. I showed up to play.
All right. Let's finish this out with one more lightning round. Again, I don't want an explanation.
My mother who just saw his son walk for the first time. I'm sorry.
I don't want an explanation. Just two teams. Western Conference Final.
Ooh.
Who's going to be in it?
Yep.
Seattle, LA.
So, Western Conference Final.
LARSL.
Eastern Conference Final.
Ooh.
New England, Houston.
Eastern Conference Final.
DC Houston.
Okay. Well, that brings us to almost the end of the show. It is. Hey guys, that's really loud. There are microphones here. You do it
started
lightly.
it.
Yeah, lightly.
Yeah, I did this too. I don't know if you know.
Levi.
Here's me.
Really
This is why I didn't.
I'm
do
just
anything.
looking at it spike.
Our one viewer just went.
No. Wait, I can tell. Hold on.
Got one viewer.
One viewer right there. Okay.
Why would you put that up on the screen?
They can't see
They
that.
can't see that.
This is just my computer.
Oh, okay.
Predictions! All right, since we have four of us here, I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Cool. DC Sporting.
Oh, DC.
New York, Houston.
I can give it to New York.
Okay. Vancouver, Dallas.
We said FC Dallas.
Thank you. Revolution versus Crew.
New England.
Okay. LA, Toronto.
LA.
Well,
Well,
I can't say I blame him. I'm just.
no, I'll
at
give him
home.
that one.
Yeah.
San Jose, PDX.
Who's at home?
San Jose.
PDX.
Okay. Colorado, Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, that's a good.
yeah.
Well, it's a good pick. Colorado is at home, man.
Doesn't matter.
All 50 people will make a difference.
Chicago, Montreal. That is a good question right there. That's a really good question.
Can they draw or lose?
Montreal.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
all right.
Hey,
And I'm gonna round us out with Chivas RSL at Chivas. I think RSL is gonna win.
Good for you.
will RSL have more supporting fans there than?
Well, does CSC people count as Chivas fans or Real Salt Lake fans?
I don't know if anyone is traveling to LA for that game. We should look into that though, because that is a good stat that I want to bring up next
That'd
time.
be great.
Yeah, now I kind of want to go.
I do too. All right,
My
guys.
parents will accommodate us.
I think that about does it for
think
us
so.
tonight.
Yay.
Again, remember to join us on Facebook at facebook.com/passively-offside. Join us on Twitter at passively_off. Thank you. I really like that you're doing that. Or email us at passively-offside@gmail.com. We always like hearing from people, and we like hearing how you feel about the show and all that. Any recommendations, anything like that, let us know. We like hearing from it. For the Passively Offside team, my name is Taylor, because I didn't come up with anyone else to be. Have a great rest of your night.